Hello everyone. So as we all know, Six Miracle just opened for this weekend for the season. And yikes, a lot happened. So I wanted to cover both of my general experiences and what I saw on both Friday and Sunday, as well as listing some changes made from last year and any minor updates that I noticed over this weekend. So as I've mentioned before, I was there both Friday and Sunday, but I spent most of my filming on Sunday because of the lower crowds. Friday was indeed slammed. I got in quickly early, but lines to get in for other people took about 3 hours due to, I assume, adapting to new pass systems. I literally don't know. Capacity for the coasters were kinda bad. There were some running 2 trains like Viper, American Eagle. I believe Maxwell's was on 2 trains. Goliath was also on 2 trains. But all the B&Ms, however, were on 1 train, and I assume it comes at the cost of B&M putting more focus into RAF right now, and not having the time to check the other B&M trains. However, I do think Bull is going to get its 2nd train soon. I saw it on the side down next to the transfer tracks and all that stuff. So hopefully we'll see Bull run 2 trains. 3 trains, however, I don't think so, unless they do it for Fright Fest. Outside of these coasters, however, I saw there were a few rides disassembled still, like Lobster and Hometown Fun Machine. I think Wizard opened on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm not too sure about that. And then the park closed early on Sunday due to weather. So yeah, not the best opening weekend. However, it wasn't all too bad for me. I tried some beignets in Orleans Place and I thought those were really good. And I got to see the 12 p.m. parade, which I think was really cute. I really liked the energy of the performers, and they were obviously doing their best during these rocky 3 days of the opening weekend. Now onto small updates. First off, the map. Like I said in my previous video, they're staying with the old style for the map, but there could be a redesign later down the line. I also said in my previous video that the way that it's laid out on the website, they might be done with physical maps, and that turned out to be true. However, I've allegedly heard some people say they still saw some physical maps hanging around. However, they may be from last year, and I'm not sure about that. Finally, I failed to mention in my previous video that Demon Snacks was replaced with Rakshasa Relics, though I think that was given that Demon Snacks was going to be removed eventually. Next, both Strutters and Steelworks Pub were remodeled to be more in line with the way Cedar Fair runs their restaurants, i.e. get served first, pay after. I haven't eaten at both locations this year, but I had both of them last year. I had a chicken sandwich at Strutters, which I thought was really good. The spaghetti at Steelworks, on the other hand, was okay, but a few of the noodles were dry. Aesthetically, I think Strutters looks far nicer than before. I hated the yellow walls and the brown floors, and the remodel changed it to be more quaint and homely, like the rest of Hometown Square. It almost looks like its California counterpart too, which I really like. Hopefully next year they're going to reintroduce some of the stuff that Aunt Martha / Maggie Brown's in California serve, and also get rid of the open air windows. I really still hate that. Steelworks Pub, on the other hand, looks the same, but now it has queue fencing, which is cool, but I think it just reminds me of how far the area around there has gone away from the Yankee Harbor theme. However, I'm really glad that they kept the outdoor seating overlooking the Yankee Clipper, as it makes it one of the coolest places to dine and view. Sticking to drinks, I noticed that the old Drizzle cheesecake stand in County Fair is being repainted. At the time, I did not know what it was going to be. However, after I left the park, the SFGAM junkies posted photos of new refill stations that will be added eventually, and that Drizzle cheesecake stand happened to be one of the new ones alongside Yukon Territory. I'm excited to see how both turn out, and I love Yukon Territory's small shack design as it fits the theme and hopefully brings some immersion to that area again. That's all I got for this weekend. I promise most updates won't be as long as this and will be more bite-sized as I try to figure out a format for these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys real soon. Goodbye.